Welcome back here to the game 2 of our doubleheader today, as we've seen the Doddridge County Bulldogs win game 1, 10-7 over Poca. They had a comfortable lead after the third inning and ended up having a fight clear to the end of it. But with that, Coach, when you see young players have to overcome that kind of adversity and win games like that, what do you think that does for the parts later in the season? Justin's still not with us right now. We'll ask him again. His headset must have been off.
I was lip reading these guys out here trying to see what they're talking about. What was the question, Ben? Go ahead.
It's been a long afternoon here. I will say that, the question was, when you see a young team have to win like that, what does that do for us down the road as we see games prolonged throughout the season?
You got to make it a learning experience. If you're getting out here on the ball field and you're playing games like that and you're getting beat in a game like that, if you don't learn out of it or figure out a way to make a positive out of that negative, you're not going to grow from it. So you can take the things and you can battle yourself down. Well, you did this, you did this, you did this. But you also go, as much as you break these kids down, when you're breaking these kids down and you're coming at them with all these things they're doing wrong, you got to come at them with things they're doing right just as much. That's how you're going to get a response out of these kids that's going to be effective, that's going to actually produce good baseball, good athletic decisions, and the decision making. Critical thinking is a big thing as far as when it comes to making the right decisions. But this coach came up here. He just came up a minute ago. He's still in good spirit. He came in and he said, we're here to play. We drove all this way. It don't matter. One thing we're not going to do, and that's give up. Well, that's what the coach told me.
And you saw that in his young men as this game went on. They could have very easily packed up camp and left.
That's right.
But instead, they battled it clear to the very end.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look real quick while the coach is there getting their final words in. Let's look at the starting lineup for Game 2. And the Game 2, they've changed a ton of what's going on as far as the Bulldogs are concerned. Batting in the leadoff spot, number 2, is the shortstop Brody Bronkelman. On the mound, we will see Luke Rakiski. First time this year we've seen the senior hurler on the mound. In the 3-hole, here's another change for us. We're going to see Caleb Hall go behind the plate and be the catcher. Then we've got Dane Murphy batting in the 4-hole, still at third. Tristan Swiger batting the 5-hole. He's at second. First base is going to be Malachi Kelly batting in the 6th hole. Left field, we're going to see a new outfield. They're not going to have the 2 senior leaders that they've been used to.
That's right.
So the outfield's going to be different. You're going to have Evan Kelly in left, Josh DeHaven in right, Hunter Hayhurst in center.
Okay.
So the outfield kind of shifted up a little bit as you bring the 2 outfielders, Luke Rakiski and Caleb Hall, into the infield. And we're going to see Luke on the mound. So, Coach, tell me what do you think about Luke being on the mound?
I like Luke being out there on the mound. So last year he was really interested in pitching, didn't really get a chance to show him his stuff up there. So he started working on this stuff here this last summer, and now this spring, he's got some good stuff. He's got some real good heat. The thing with Luke is once he gets in the zone, he doesn't need to try to overpower his pitches. He already throws hard. He already has good mechanics. He already has the smarts on the mound. If he just uses those things and not try to overthrow, he's going to do a real good job today.
Now, as far as Polka Dot is concerned, they've got in the leadoff hole Nate Christian, which was last time. He had a great bat, had a couple hits to him. In the 2-hole, number 18, Nick Grayley batting third. Number 4, Cooper Jones in the cleanup spot. Number 23, Jackson McClellan in the 5th hole. Number 15, Colton Derber. Let me go back to my thing. I can't hardly read their coach's writing. I do apologize for that. That way I can see these names for sure. The list got up here to us a little late. I didn't get to rewrite some things. So their coaching staff brought up that is Colton Dunbar. Apologize for that. Colton Dunbar. Then in the 6th hole, number 17, Logan English. In the 7th hole, number 9, Jaden Bowles. In the 8th hole, number 22, Grayson Brumfield. And I do believe Bowles is in that hole as a DH for English. I'm not real sure yet. Or Brumfield. He didn't put it on the paper. Also batting number 24, Daniel Burns. And number 31, Dalton Bragg. So as we get ready here for the first pitch in the doubleheader in Game 2, we'll be right back after we hear from our sponsors.
Key Oil Company has been a proud member of the North Central West Virginia community since 1978. Key Oil Company has been drilling and producing gas and oil in West Virginia for nearly 50 years. Home office located in Weston, West Virginia. Key Oil Company is a proud supporter of all Doddridge County student athletes. Let's go Bulldogs! Looking for automotive service you can trust? Turn to Rokiski Service Center in Clarksburg, West Virginia. Family owned and operated since 1924. We've proudly served generations of local drivers with dependable, honest automotive care. From routine maintenance like oil changes, brakes, and tires, to lift kits, custom wheels, and off-road accessories, we help keep your vehicle ready for anything. Visit Rokiski Service Center at 798 West Pike Street or call 304-623-2836 today. That's Rokiski Service Center, 304-623-2836.
All right, welcome back. We are just moments away from our first pitch here in game number 2, and Rokiski's on the mound getting loose. You're going to see a little different with Caleb Hall behind the plate as a lefty. You don't see a whole lot of lefty catchers. However, the young man has had a lot of innings behind the plate. He has spent a lot of time back there, so he is very seasoned when it comes to behind the plate. So this is going to be a pretty good tandem, a good matchup, and I'm excited to see how these two work together. So be ready for game number 2 with the Doddridge County Bulldogs and the Dots from Poca. You know, we saw in there in game 1 the keys to success, and I think they did the right thing. We said they got to win the first 2. They did that.
Sure.
But what do we got to do this time? Not only win the first 2, but what do we do now?
Well, this is a no-mercy type of situation right here. So we got Luke Rokiski on the mound. We got to have defense behind him. But not only that, when we score these runs and we get momentum going, when we set tempos, we got to continue on with that tempo and follow that rhythm. We cannot score 8 runs, 5 runs, 7 runs, and let off. Well, I know for a fact that my brother Nate, he let them have it after the game on where they needed to be mindset-wise and where they needed to be as far as staying in a lead. You got to shut the door. You just can't let them play with it.
Here comes first pitch from Rokiski. Fires fastball and just misses. Not sure if that was inside or where we were, but he misses the zone. And when you have a doubleheader, you got to quickly find where the next umpire's zone is, and that's what they got to find out as he goes fastball high. So we've got 2 balls, no strikes. And what we want to see early from our senior up there is to get confident, find that zone as quickly as we can, and start working. Fastball is up again, and we've got 3 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, Luke's really got to get in his zone early here.
Fastball low and inside, and Nate Christian was the leadoff hitter, and that puts him aboard with a walk. And let's see if they go ahead and try to test the arm of the lefty behind the plate, which if I'm Coach Nate, I'm hoping, I'm thinking, man, I hope they do, because I've seen some pop times from this young man. And with how hard Luke throws, I think we're going to be pretty good as far as throwing out runners. Here comes pitch number 1 to the second batter for strike. That's Nick Grayley is at the plate. Had a couple hits in game 1, so definitely a guy that we've got to make sure we're not only in the zone, but you can't give him anything too good.
It's real good seeing Caleb Hall behind the plate here. He is a lefty. But, for the guy being a lefty, having an arm like he does, he's very maneuverable. He's really strong back here. He's a good leader. He's a rock of this team. I really like seeing him behind the catcher's plate. I don't have a problem with it.
Luke Rokiski, no balls, 2 strikes, seems to have found a little bit more of the strike zone as he fires for ball 1. But that's a good miss. That's a good miss. 0-2, and he fires a fastball. And Luke sits between that 81, 82 mile-an-hour zone from a 6'2", 6'3" righty. He is committed to Potomac State as an outfielder. But
nice pitch.
Just like that, he records the out with the sword from the number 2 hitter, and we are 1 runner on and 1 out. At the plate is going to be number 4, Cooper Jones. So now we're looking, let's get that ground ball to the middle infield. Let's get out of here and go get those bats fired up. Rakiski on, delivers just outside off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. And talking with Coach Nate in between, he was just the leadership, wanted to see his guys keep the intensity. They've got to be able to get younger guys in the game, but he wanted to see more out of his older guys as far as keeping the intensity going, and he felt that they were just lacking in that situation.
Well, the experience these guys have, you shouldn't have to say that to these guys, you know.
No.
But you know, I'm sure it's made known right now, and they have no other choice but to have some tempo.
1 ball, 1 strike. Rakiski fires over to first base. And if Luke does something, one thing I'll tell you, if Luke does it, he's going to do it full speed. He's not going to take things off. So Malachi better be ready over there because when he turns and dials, it's going to be full throttle. Christian gets his lead. Leg kick, ball thrown by the batter.
All right.
It goes 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. So after the rocky first batter, it seems like Luke has dialed himself in. And this is a big thing to see another one of these horses out of the stable. How well can he command the zone? Because if Luke's in the zone, he's hard to hit.
There he is.
That's got to be strike 3, and it is. So perfect fastball on the outside corner to take the 3-hole hitter down in stride. So we've got 2 outs, runner at first, and this brings up the cleanup hitter, number 23, Jackson McCallahan.
Nice pitch, Luke. Very good. Nice breaking ball.
Establishes the first pitch strike with off speed, and they haven't really seen that yet, so it's nice to see that second pitch finding its way to the strike zone. Fastball popped up into right field. The right fielder calls it, and we've got out number 3. So after a first batter walk, he retires them in stride as we go to the bottom half of the first with the score 0, and your Bulldogs about to come to the plate. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we see a, Groundhog Day, February 2nd. You see that groundhog pop up out of its shell to see what the weather's going to be like. We look down and see Coach Rakiski popping out of there without his heavy winter jacket on. It's kind of refreshing, thinking that maybe spring really is just right around the corner.
It might be close, Ben.
It might be close. So Doddridge awaiting their first at bat. We're going to see Brody Brockman back at the leadoff spot, followed up by Luke Rakiski. And then in the hole there, Caleb Hall. It'd be nice to see them come out in stride as they have and put a couple runs on the board as they face the lefty here on the mound, number 23, which is Jackson McCallahan.
We got a lefty here.
They had a lefty in the other game.
Yeah, they did.
On the mound for the Dots here in Game 2, number 23, Jackson McClanahan.
I went down there and made a couple rounds in between the game. Seen a lot of people. There's a lot of people at the ballpark today, so that's always exciting for these young men to be able to see.
Yeah.
If you're joining us, we'd love to hear from you. Where are you at? Who you supporting? Who we cheering on? Do we have any Dot fans out there? I see that we have quite a bit of people watching, but it's always nice to hear from you as well. As WVRC, as always, bringing a good production to where our young men, our young ladies can be able to have this for future reference. So parents and grandparents and friends and family alike can watch from a distance. Give us a shout out from where you are. We'd love to put your name out there. And as always, to our sponsors, thank you for sponsoring this, because without you, this would not be made possible.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how our guys come out after the game that we just had. Often when you win a game, it's easy to be lackadaisical, like we were talking about, Ben. What's hard is really coming back and keeping that intensity up and having to re-ramp it up. And then the other team has lost. They're coming in on a loss. Now they're even hungrier. So let's see how the Bulldogs respond to it. So we'll see.
You saw the Polka Dots kind of turn things on later in the game.
Yeah.
So what we got to make sure is we don't allow their momentum to continue, and we grab ours back. So Brody Brockman digs into the box, awaiting the opening pitch here from the southpaw, and that's going to be a breaking ball just outside for ball one.
And this pitcher's got a very closed stride. He throws all the way across his body.
Fastball on the outside as we see 2 balls, no strikes. We have Joey Adams has joined us from Salem, so welcome, Joey. We'd appreciate you watching and supporting here. I'm going to guess maybe a Dogs fan. So we're just glad to see people watching and taking part with these young men. So it's 3 balls, no strike, and as Brody is so often used to, he's been in the same situation, seems like every game, 3 balls, no strikes. Let's see if they battle back and pump a fastball outside, and that's going to be 4 straight pitches, and that's going to put our leadoff hitter on the bag, explosive on the bases too. So look for some excitement here early and often.
Leadoff doing his job right there, getting on the bag.
That's right. So we have some Dot fans out there watching from West Liberty. Excited to have them here. Thank you guys so much. Tim and Janie Cottrell watching from Big Flint. That's out in the middle of almost God's country.
Yeah.
So welcome them. Dot fans alike, please, when you're on here, we're supporting all of these young men. We're excited to see all of them get to play this great sport and support what they are able to do. So we appreciate everybody's attention today. So here we go. Luke Rakiski is at the plate, the senior. We have a runner take off. Brody takes second as the ball gets away from the catcher. That allows him to stand up there at second with a swiped bag. And now, real quick, the Dogs have a runner in scoring position, nobody out, and they're 2 seniors back to back. So expect some fireworks here pretty soon if they bring that ball in the zone.
He's not wanting to put it over the plate for Luke here. He's trying to work him away.
Landon Cole watching from New Milton. Let's go Bulldogs. Got 2 balls, no strike. Rakiski hungry for a fastball. Here comes a breaking ball. Sneaks in there on the backside, and that's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike. Very good-looking pitch by Mr. Jackson there.
That's a hard ball to pick up. He had on the outside corner 2 fastballs on that, and then he just broke that slider in. It was hard to pick up. Same arm slot, same tunnel. Brought it in for a strike there. Good job by the pitcher.
Pitch delivered, fastball to the outside, gets past the glove of the catcher, and so Brody Brockman finds himself, after a walk, standing on third with 1 stolen base and then 1 wild pitch. We look up here at Mr. Jackson on the mound pitching, and according to Max Prep, he has seen 9.2 innings thus far. He's given up 3 hits. Fastball on the outside just misses. So he's seen 3 hits. He's given up 5 runs. 3 of them were earned, 7 walks, but 20 or 19 strikeouts.
This kid here does.
Yeah, so
okay.
He's a guy that normally sees the zone. Anytime you see that ball to strikeout ratio in such a good manner, it tells you this kid's usually not a wild pitcher. Coach comes out, puts his hand on his hip, and just says, hey, big, deep breath. We've been here before. He is a senior, so he's a leader on the team.
That's right.
He's a guy that's been here before, so great job, Coach, coming out, calming him down here for a little bit. As we hear the Jeopardy music playing in the background, we are going to have runners on first and third as we have some fans watching all the way from Wallace, West Virginia.
Okay. You always realize how creative you can get when you're a coach and you go out to the mound and to talk to your guy. What are you going to say to calm him down right in that moment? You got to have something good coming out of your pocket.
Runner takes off, so Rakiski is going to have second base as Caleb Hall steps into the box.
Oh, this is what Caleb
was 2 for 2 in the first game, continuing that hitting streak. Takes a curveball, sneaks in, and grabs the inside corner.
If you want some entertainment, look at Dane on the on-deck circle.
Dang nutter.
So
down
we
there.
have one ball, one strike. Here's the delivery. Curveball back to the inside plate. Wild pitch gets past. We're going to have a slide, and he's safe at home plate. Man, that was close, but I will tell you that left hand snuck in there just prior. We do have a good look at that. There's a lot on the field we can't see, but we can see that.
That was a close play there at the home plate. It was just
Excellent
bang,
hustle.
bang, bang.
Excellent hustle by the catcher. Good plate awareness by the pitcher. And we go to a 2-ball, 1 strike as Dane Murphy is struggling in the on-deck circle to get the bat weight off of his bat. If you guys were here right now, you would be entertained. 2-1 to Caleb Hall. Ball low and away. And that's going to bring up a 3-1 count to the senior University of Charleston commit.
Yeah, this is a completely different arm slot than what we're used to seeing. He's got a very closed stride. Gives you for a different look.
Fooled the senior.
Full count.
And now we go to a full count. Well, you know, we read those stats off. 19 strikeouts, 7 walks. This young man's going to be in the zone. He is hard to hit. So here comes the delivery. Fastball on the inside, and that's going to be ball 4. They say it hit the batter. So that's going to be a hit by pitch. So Dane thankfully got the fight with the bat weight. Dane has come out so far 1-0. Dane 1, bat weight 0. And we now have the coach from the Dots walking back out to have his second mound visit. I don't know what short day by the senior starter. So coach goes ahead, quickly grabs him off the mound, does a couple shifting. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after these brief messages.
Check this out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We see a familiar arm on the mound already for the Poca Dots. We see number 9 coming in, Jaden Bowles. He pitched in the first game. And the question was from Josh Todd, who won game 1? Well, the Bulldogs did, 10 runs to 7. It was definitely not the way the Bulldogs wanted to finish, as that game we scored 10 runs in the first 3 innings and then just decided to not score any more the rest of the game. However, the Poca Dots scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings.
They did.
So they were right there the last 2 to 3 innings. They scored 5 runs, and they did not go away quietly. So
They kept fighting.
they did. So hats off to the coaching staff there from Poca. And they drove a long ways this morning. The coach was up here talking to us in the press box. He believes in his guys. He's excited to have them. He said, hey, this is year 2 with these guys.
Yeah.
They've had to overcome some injury, overcome some sickness. And so we welcome the Poca Dots here to the home of the Bulldogs. And game 1 did go in the Bulldogs' favor. And as of right now, we have Bulldogs 1, Poca Dots 2. 0. So we got runners at first and third. It's 1-0. No outs. And Dane Murphy is coming to the plate after having a struggle fight with the
bat weight.
The bat weight. Now, Coach,
I'm not sure what's going on down there with that.
it was a struggle. He had to get other people involved
See,
after having to bash his bat on the ground multiple times. He was struggling. You know, that commercial. He's struggling.
he hasn't
struggling
smiled
with it.
since.
He hasn't.
He's not smiled since. I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully, a good base hitter. Triple or something.
Dane's first at bat in the first game was they had a hit and run going on. Dane laces a ball to right field for a stand-up triple. We'd like to see another one of those at this point in time. Hall's at first. Don't be surprised if we see Hall take off here, as he does. Pitches in there. Dane hits the ball in the 6 hole. Shortstop does a great job trying to slide to get it, and that advances Hall to third. So base hit by Murphy. That's our first hit from the Dogs, and the score is 2-1. 2-0.
That brings to the plate second baseman, number 12, Tristan Swiger.
Swiger was the player of the game in the first game. He pitched an excellent 3-4 innings for the Bulldogs, 7 strikeouts, and same fashion. Dane takes off. Line drive into the 6 gap again. That's going to score Hall. That's going to put Murphy at third, and Tristan pushes for that double. Excellent job by Swiger. There was no throw attempt made to the third base bag. He didn't advance because of a throw to third. He advanced because of aggressiveness, and the outfield kind of just didn't realize he was still running. That's how you get easy, cheap doubles. How do you turn singles into doubles? With hustle. So good RBI right there by Swiger. At the plate, Malachi Kelly awaits for pitch 1. Swung on, drove down the third baseline for strike 1.
I really like how the Bulldogs are adjusting to these different, different velocity or different speeds of pitching, because it's hard to make that adjustment on a run. It is. You get a faster guy, then you come in with a slower guy, and to be able to adjust on the run like that is a really good thing to see these guys doing. They're not really struggling too bad with it, and they're putting the bat on the ball.
Last game, the Bulldogs, as Malachi takes a floater to the elbow, the Bulldogs seen 85. From the South Harrison righty. First round, they didn't do too great. Second round, they started to explode, and they put 14 hits on the board by the end of that short game that they induced. So now we see almost the exact opposite. You're right.
Yeah.
Good hitters hit, though.
Yeah, that's it.
Good hitters adjust, and good hitters hit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just know and Tom, but through Babe Ruth for high school and that sort of thing, you see so many different levels of speeds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In Babe Ruth in high school, but when you get to college, it's usually one tone type thing. But here in high school, you got to be go through the adversity to hit the pitches that are thrown to you.
Evan Kelly is at the plate now, the junior lefty. We saw him come in and pitch for a little bit. He has been under the weather and been kind of sick this week on and off, so it's good to see him up and moving around as he goes down one. As he goes ground ball to the second baseman. That is going to score Murphy from second. We had to kind of hold up there for a minute. Ball was in the air. Looked like it could have been a chance for one of those triple plays if you're too aggressive. So good job by the base runners making sure that ball hit the turf first and then advance. So little RBI by Kelly, and that brings the score 4 Bulldogs, the Polka Dots 0, as Josh DeHaven steps into the box. He floats it right in there. I think Josh looked at it 3 times.
He wanted it the last 2, but didn't swing. So.
He did. He did good patience there, but guess what? Mr. Pitcher snuck that one right in there, and he is ahead. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners are at second and third, and that fastball is going to be just wide of the zone to bring up a count of 1-1.
Tristan and Malachi really want to get in the home here. I can tell it. He's a little bobble behind the plate, and Tristan's going to get in here.
Tristan pretty quick on those bags as we have a 1-1 count to DeHaven. The floater stays up this time, and it's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike. Ground ball to the shortstop. He fields it cleanly, fires across the diamond. He gets the out, but not before Tristan Swiger scores, so another productive out by the Bulldogs. Scoring that runner from third is always the goal, so we've done that twice in a row now as we bring up the 9-hole hitter, number 11, Hunter Hayhurst, and Hunter had a hit last game.
Yeah, he did. Hunter had a nice hit last game right ahead of the gap, yeah.
And then he had a big double there against South Harrison, so a couple games in a row, Hunter's starting to figure this thing out at the plate and looking a lot more comfortable out of the sophomore that's more known for his pitching than hitting. Fastball inside. That's going to be just over top, and the shortstop makes a nice grab. And we go through 9 hitters and come away with 5 runs as the Bulldogs go to the top of the second. It's 5-0, and we'll be right back.
Mission in motion. In Doddridge County Schools, our students are becoming future ready, rising up with bright minds and big goals. Together, we are united to make a difference.
Welcome back for inning number 2. We're in the top half of the second as the Bulldogs find themselves out in front 5-0. Now, Justin, we were here last game. We were almost in the same situation. A lot of runs scored in that first inning or two. Hopefully we see a little bit different of a demeanor.
That's right. It kind of looks like the same situation as last inning, really very similar. Let's see if they can pull together and keep their tempo up instead of losing it like they did last game. Hopefully they can, manufacture what it takes to, get these outs, keep the bats going, and maybe we can keep the pitcher in here for a little more than 3 innings. I don't know how long they're going to let Luke go, but Luke's pitch count's probably 40, 50 pitches, probably moving up to 60, 70 right now. So it won't be much more than that, I imagine.
I would say you're about right, and I would say other guys that are out there to pitch today, we'll see probably a couple different arms come in, and I wouldn't be surprised if even though Hall is back there behind the plate, you might see him sneak in there, or maybe even get to see one of these freshman arms come on the mound.
You got Joey DeHaven that's got an arm that he wants to come in and pitch. He said something earlier.
Josh DeHaven, another senior, probably see him come in there.
Josh DeHaven's got innings too. Yeah, Josh.
Rakiski fires strike 1 and quickly jumps out ahead at FPS with a fastball. Looked pretty good. As at the plate, we have Mr. Dunbar, Colton Dunbar at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Luke looks pretty good here. He looks pretty consistent in his windup. Nothing's changing as far as, just the consistency looks good.
Umpire calls that one low for ball 2. Left and right could not have been more perfect. So his windage was perfect. Elevation was just a little off. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, popped up. Looks like to the second baseman. Swiger calls it and records the out. And so the Bulldogs come out, take care of business on hitter number 1.
Number 17 for the Ducks.
And now we have number 17 coming to the plate, Logan English. He steps into the box.
And Luke's got really good composure right here. He's not a bit of rattle. He's got a little monkey off his back a little bit. We got a little bit of a score, a little bit of a lead here. He can kind of settle in and show what he can do. No pressure. It's a good spot for Luke to be starting off here in the season.
If you want to make big runs in the state, you got to be able to have multiple guys that can pitch and give you quality innings. Mm-hmm. And how do you develop that? Early in the year.
Lots of reps.
They got to see the mound, and what you have to do is rely on your bats to give you the cushion to allow that. So Rakiski looking at a 1-1 count, fires, strike 2 on the outside corner. So 3 straight fastballs. 2 of them have found their target. And we're at 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Nice time to see a little wrinkle maybe here by the senior. And there it was, but it didn't wrinkle.
Yeah, a little hang in it,
It stayed up there. There was not much drop or curve to it, but it makes him think like he might have one. 2 balls. Hey, sometimes it's all about the illusion.
I've never heard it said like that.
Fouled off.
At least it had the right spin. It might not have went when it where it
I go back to Paul Blart. Paul Blart said, you just have to give the illusion that you have one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we have the illusion of the off-speed pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Rikiski fires and deals. There's
Nice
the
pitch.
crinkle. Now that one looked pretty good
That
for
was it.
recorded out number 2.
Tell you what, he came inside on his first slider there, and he kind of backed him off the plate, and then he went away from him there, swinging, had him swinging. Really good job by Luke Rikiski.
So now we're in the top half of the second inning. Recorded the first 2 hitters, and at the plate now is Mr. Brumfield. Number 9 here. I'm sorry, number 9. The pitcher, Mr. Bowles. They put their DH in a weird spot. I do apologize for that at home. Mr. Bowles at the plate. The pitcher, the batter dropped his bat, went back and got the ball. That's a young man that's been raised right.
I see that.
We got 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs as we have a slight breeze into right center. Rikiski on the mound. Fires right down the middle for strike number 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top half of the second.
Luke's really looking pretty decent right now. I'm real impressed with Luke. I do not. Am I surprised? No, because I do know what he's got, but I do believe like he's putting him in the zone right here. I don't want to jinx him, but he's doing a really good job.
Well, that was the biggest thing last year. He threw hard, but he didn't throw consistent.
Right.
He was never consistent in the zone, and now all of a sudden, if that's all they need, that is a great miss. When you miss, perfect miss. So now we got 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Back to what we were saying. You know, from the senior as a junior, he threw hard. He threw a lot of innings, but wasn't always the most consistent. And now we see come out 3 up, 3 down. Excellent job by Mr. Rikiski as he retires another strikeout victim. As we go to the bottom half of the second, the Bulldogs lead 5-0, and we'll be right back.
Mission in motion. In Doddridge County schools, our students are becoming future ready, rising up with bright minds and big goals. Together, we are united to make a difference.
Bulldog Station in Doddridge County Sports is a winning combination. For all your pizzas, subs, and salads, call Bulldog Station at 304-666-1364. Open Monday 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Tuesday and Wednesday 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Thursday and Friday 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturdays 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Bulldog Station located at 323 West Main Street, West Union, West Virginia. Let's go Bulldogs!
Oh, welcome back here. Big shout out to our boosters and to our parents here of the Bulldogs. They fed the baseball players here, the coaching staff, and us up here in the booth some great pulled pork sandwiches. So we do appreciate any time that parents and boosters jump in and support these young men, especially being able to take care of these guys that were on the road today, making sure they were fed and taken care of. So far what we've seen from the Poca Dots is nothing but first class. They've been wonderful. Their coaching staff has been great. Their kids have been great young men. At the end of the day, Coach Justin, there will be a day when baseball fades away, but your character should never.
Well, that's right, man. You just got to worry about your character out here. Even win or lose, no matter what the situation, you see these kids come out here and they get in these games and the scores get ran up, and then it shows a lot about your character and about who you are as a person, as how you fight through stuff like that. The adversity it takes to continue playing baseball whenever the runs are scored or the runs are way up. But the way this coach talked, I really liked his attitude on how he's not going to give up. It doesn't matter what the score is. He came up here and said, I said, well, you guys struggled a little bit in the beginning, but you did pretty good. He said, well, we're not going to give up. It doesn't matter. We're not going to give up. So,
that comes from the top down.
Yeah,
that's from the top down. If these young men see their coach give up, they're going to give up.
Sure.
So they know that their coach is in their corner. So hats off to them. It's been a pleasure watching these guys play, and we got a lot of baseball left ahead of us.
Well, would they fight back 10-8? Is that what it was?
10-7.
10-7.
Yeah. So now we have the leadoff hitter back up. We see 9 batters in the first inning, recorded 5 runs. Brody and the first 3 hitters that came to the plate all were on base because of walks. So I would say that if Brody's going to be antsy to see something good in the zone here. Brody Brockman back at shortstop for game number 2. Pitcher gets his signal going from the windup, and here's the delivery. And it's swung on and fouled off down the right field line by Brockman. So no balls, 1 strike.
Brockman did a real good job right there keeping his hands back on that slower pitch. He was out ahead of it a little bit, kept his hands back and made contact on it.
Here comes the windup. Here comes the pitch inside. Almost gets Brockman, but he gets out of the way. He would have been very upset at himself if it would have hit. This is a young man that wants to be in the box no matter what, and he wants to swing the bat. So we got 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs, 2 consecutive innings where we've had our leadoff hitter as our leadoff hitter. Pitches on the outside into the left-handed batter's box, and that's going to be ball 2. What we have to do is make sure that we maintain our energy. We got to make sure that we maintain our approach to the plate no matter what the game or no matter what the temperature is. 3 balls, 1 strike. On the mound for the Polka Dots is number 9, Jaden Bowles. Swung on and hammered to center field, and no one's going to be there. That's going to be a lot of bases from Brockman. He can run, so he's got first. He's got second. He's got a guaranteed stand-up triple as he coasts in, and Brockman drives the ball into deep right center as he awaited that pitch, and he is now standing on third, 90 feet away, and to the plate comes the senior, number 50, Rikiski.
You know, Brockman really pulled through right there. A 3-1 count. He had to go on it. A little bit outside. He took it the other way. Real good job by Brody.
Brody's one of those guys, he's normally going to hit the ball where it's pitched.
Yeah.
So he goes for the stand-up triple. And Rikiski awaits the pitch. Here's the delivery. And it's a fastball on the outside for ball 1.
I thought maybe Luke was going to Happy Gilmore that ball for a second when he was waiting for it to come in.
He was waiting. He was thinking about it.
He's going to double step it.
So you've already heard 2 movie references. Happy Gilmore and
Who was the other one?
Paul Blart.
Oh, Paul Blart. Yeah. Oh, Paul Blart. We're not going to get into why we were talking about Paul Blart, but yeah, we were talking about Paul Blart.
Just the illusion of
the illusion
of the off-speed. You don't necessarily have to have one, just the illusion of it.
As long as it got the wrinkle in it, or the loop in it, you know it's a breaking pitch.
I agree with Josh Todd here. He says, I hope the Bulldogs go undefeated. That makes several of us. As Rikiski laces one to right center, that's going to be extra bases. That's the same hit that Brockman has. He coasts in to home, and Rikiski's going to find his way for a stand-up triple. Back-to-back triples. And Rikiski hit that ball on the screws.
I think he just washed away the slump right there. It was. You see him wax on, wax off. I seen it.
That brings up our next senior to the plate, Caleb Hall. Hall has found his success on extra base hits so far, and I know he's awaiting. So we have Rikiski on third. Just had an RBI triple. And Hall's at the plate waiting for the delivery. Here's the delivery. Swung on and fouled straight back.
That was a big swing right there. Seeing that little loop in the ball and then him having to come up to it, that's a hard swing for Caleb because he likes him in the zone. That was a little bit up.
He's already had a couple home runs on the year, already has had a couple extra base hits, and he's trying to make something out of nothing here on these. So he's quickly found himself no balls, 2 strikes, settle back in, let's get a base hit. Score that run from third.
2 strikes, man on third, no outs.
I would say if it's close, you're going to see him get a barrel to it.
Oh, yeah.
Here comes the pitch. Fouled off down the third base line, and we're still at no balls, 2 strikes. Starting to get a little bit of a wind going to right field. Not going to have a whole lot of help with wind or pitch speed. So any power has got to be manufactured by themselves. Here comes the pitch, and that's going to be ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's got to look like a watermelon coming there sometimes.
That's got to be hard because the slower it comes, the more you see it, the harder you want to swing at it, and probably more chance you're going to miss it.
He made the adjustment to the front of the box, swung on and rolled over, but that's going to score. That's going to score the run from third. So although not the output that Hall wanted, it is a productive out by scoring the run. So now we go to Dane Murphy. We have nobody on. We do have 1 out as Murphy steps in the box. First 2 hitters were mashes, 2 triples, a rollover to the second base. So we've scored 2 runs thus far, and Murphy looks to put another runner on base.
That was real good to see Brody and Luke hit them triples right there, back to back, same spot. That's what, Luke, he hasn't really struggled, but he's not performing like he wants to be performing. Stuff like that's what's going to get his motivation back where it needs to be. I just like seeing it.
That ball was on an absolute line by Rikiski. Here comes the delivery. Swung on, drove down the left field line. Again, Coach just jumps out of the way. You can tell probably a PO back in his day.
He's probably pitching only, probably.
Coach Wright spent his pitching days and pitched for RCB and then went on to pitch for the Battlers at Alderson Broadus College. Good patience by the righty junior, Murphy, as he sees ball 1 on the outside corner.
It's been real good in being able to come here and see Nate coach like he has, being his older brother, seeing where he's at, seeing the things he's doing, some of the moves he's making out here. He's playing some good smart ball stuff. He's got some good plays going on. I'm real proud of him and seeing everything he's doing. It's good to see. Just proud of my brother for doing what he's doing.
Murphy takes ball 2 in the dirt, so we got 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And you've got Murphy there in the box, and then behind him sits patiently awaiting is Tristan Swiger. 2-2's the count. Here's the delivery. That's going to stay up, and it's going to bring the count to full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here on a 47-degree day in Doddridge County, West Virginia. Slight breeze. Sun is shining, and there are people everywhere watching this great sport, so we are glad that you've tuned in with us. So that broke a little bit and almost broke back into the zone. Yeah,
I've seen that.
But that puts Murphy on base from a walk. And here comes Swiger. Swiger is 1 for 1 already today. He was the player of the game in Game 1.
Okay, yeah.
Had a very good outing on the mound, recorded 7 strikeouts.
What was he first game, 1 for 3?
I believe he was.
1 for 3, I think it was.
And he's 1 for 1 so far today.
Batting 500 on the day.
Well, he was batting 500 on the season.
On the season, yeah. So he's keeping his average.
Fastball outside for a strike, and then Dane swipes second. So this takes away, hopefully, the fear of a double play, inning-ending double play, and we move to a runner on second with 1 out. Swiger awaits the pitch. Here's the delivery. Swung on and crushed to left field, and I think that's going to get down for a base hit. And that's going to keep Dane Murphy at third. And here comes Swiger pushing again. Slides in safe to second. Records his number 2 double. 2 doubles in a row. You young guys watching at home, that's how you want to talk about padding stats?
Yeah.
Be aggressive.
That's it.
Be aggressive.
That's good base running right there. The guy was a sharp hit to left field. The guy kind of just took his time from left field, throwing the ball in. Tristan turned first, got it to second base just because it was a hustle play by the outfield. Good job, Tristan.
After this, here I want to point out this as well. A lot of guys get thrown out at second trying to do that because they jog from the plate and then try to turn it on later.
Yeah.
He sprinted from the box. Every time that ball leaves, your next goal, you got first. Your next goal's 2.
2, that's right.
Swung on and drove into the right center gap by Malachi. That ball gets down. It gets by the outfielder. We're going to have extra bases. That clears the bases when the 2. Malachi is going to have.
Look at him move.
I don't know how you officially score that because technically that ball bounced and went backwards on the turf behind the pursuing outfielder. That could very easily go down as another triple.
Evan Kelly.
Should have been a single. But either way, we scored 2 more runs, and the Bulldogs are looking at 9-0 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd. Evan Kelly, the lefty junior, at the plate. From the windup, sneaks it inside at the hand, and that's going to bring up 1 ball, no strikes. Foul ball.
Nice cut, nice cut.
You know, the Bulldogs are here in week 1 of the season, of this 2026 season. It's early, it's a fresh, but they are sitting at 5-0. They've been very productive when need be. And there's a lace up the middle. That's going to get down for another base hit. And, guys, I'm going to tell you something. Hits are contagious, and right now everybody's catching it.
Everybody's got the...
Evan Kelly, great swing. That scores the run. That puts the Bulldogs at 10. And no movement yet from the coaching staff over at Poca. And this is going to bring up number 3, the right fielder, Josh DeHaven. Ball bounces at the plate. Kelly was already taken off. Kelly not really known for his speed.
No, not so much. But I tell you what, he gets a good jump.
He had a good jump.
Yeah.
DeHaven couldn't help himself. Couldn't help. Looked too good, Coach. Looked too good, Coach.
Seen that. He wanted it bad.
Looked too good, and we go with a strike. You know, at the end of week 1, Doddridge could very easily look at themselves as 6-0. Another time, this looked too good. Got to keep patience back there, Mr. DeHaven.
Same spot, same pitch.
The Bulldogs could look at themselves as a 6-0 on week 1. What a great way to start a signature year. And he swings and misses strike 3. It gets away. He forgets to run. Now he's going to take off. Fires up to first, and he is out. But Evan Kelly in the craftiness comes all the way from second base and scores.
Well, it looks like you haven't got the RBI out of it, right?
I mean, swinging strike 3. Evan Kelly takes off from second, not known as a burner, and scores from second. Good hustle.
Get 2 down the inning. That brings to the plate number 11.
We have 2 outs. Hunter Hayhurst now steps into the box. Swung on, hit to the third baseman. He fields it cleanly, fires across the diamond, and it's wide right, so that's going to be an error on the throw. And Hunter Hayhurst is at first, and that, again, we have now batted through twice in back-to-back innings. So Brody Brockelman will step back up to the plate.
2 down the inning. That brings back to the plate number 2, Brody Brockelman.
Brockelman, last at bat, had a beautiful triple into right center field, cleared to the wall, and then was scored by Rakiski by another triple. Swung on, laced to center field. That's a line drive base hit, and we're not even looking at the coach over there. What are we doing? And somehow, Coach Nate was walking off the field.
Well, it was a really good swim in with his feet. He came in not head first, but he came out feet first, swimming around the tag. and he got in there to third base. So that was good base running, but then again, he missed the call. He missed the call to stay on second.
Horrible base running.
But it was a good base, what do you want to call it?
He was safe.
It was a good safe base.
I don't think I would use the word good in that sentence with anything that we just watched happen.
Coach Nate was already walking off the field mad because he didn't listen to him to stay on the bag, and then he was safe. So.
I think Coach Nate's still mad over there.
Yeah, he is.
He looked over at his frozen popsicle assistants over there in their heavy coats, froze to death, and asked them what is going on. We got to thaw out and get ready for this next pitch as Rikiski comes to the plate. So Bronkelman with the line drive, single to center, advances on the throw. Good heads-up base running. Rikiski gets antsy and pops one up to the end. He needs to run, never know. So the Bulldogs tack on 6 runs in the bottom of the 6th. The score here is 11-0, and we will be back right after these messages.
Ellenboro Floors, located at 23 West Washington Avenue in Ellenboro, West Virginia, is a family-owned and operated business. We have a full showroom with displays of flooring ranging from luxury vinyl plank, tile, hardwood, carpet, sheet vinyl, carpet tiles, and more. We offer commercial and residential installation. Let's turn your home or business into something special. Call 304-869-3969. Financing is available. We are open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's Ellenboro Floors, located at 23 West Washington Avenue in Ellenboro, West Virginia. Call 304-869-3969 or visit us on Facebook.
Welcome back to the top of the 3rd, and the answer I will give you is yes. The question that was raised is Doddridge is playing well. Poca's not really that they're playing that bad. They've only had 2 errors. However, Doddridge is just sitting back and hitting the baseball.
Yeah.
Right now, that's just the key to success right now is that Doddridge is sitting back, being patient in the box, and hitting baseballs on the barrel almost every swing.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen Caleb's release time coming out of the hole, but that was fast.
So we've had him gunned a couple times at a couple colleges that we've been at, and he kind of said, hey, let me throw down. He has a 1.9 pop time almost every time from behind that plate.
That was fast. I just
As a freshman, he threw out 7 out of 7 runners that's tried to steal on him. He's an outfielder by nature, but he does like it behind the plate. So Rikiski, top of 3, delivers. Fastball in the dirt.
Yeah, I just had to call that out real quick there. I seen him throw down.
A lot of people don't realize that he catches.
Yeah.
And we like it in the outfield. Fastball inside for ball 2. And Maxwell is not behind the plate because he did anything wrong. He's got some arm soreness going on. So coach is kind of giving him a break. He had a little bit of shoulder soreness. And Rikiski goes to 3 balls and no strikes. So senior comes out after 2 productive innings, comes on the mound. And this is where we as a team lost focus last game. After we got up kind of big, we lost focus and started to coast. And it'd be nice to watch these young men focus back in here and put this game away. Swung on a 3-0 count. And Rikiski blows that by the bat. At the plate is number 22, Grayson Brumfield. And Rikiski looks on a 3-1 count. Fastball down the middle, hit off the glove of Rikiski, picks it up, throws it to first, and there's your first out of the top of the 3rd.
Luke Rakiski's got a good little outing going here. I'll tell you.
Yeah, he does.
I'm impressed with him. It's not something I'm surprised about, but it's something that he's got to put forth full effort, and he's got to really do what he's doing right now. I mean, just putting forth everything that he knows and everything that we've put together. He's coming through here. He knows not to overthrow. He knows he can throw a little harder than what he's throwing right now. If he throws his hardest, he'll never get it over the plate. But right now he's getting it over the plate. Nice.
Breaking ball. Nice idea there. Starts him off, FPS with a little curve. No balls, 1 strike. At the plate is going to be Mr. Burns, number 24. Again, curveball that time, crushed into right center for a single. Nice job by Hunter Hayhurst. That's a good piece of hitting right there by the senior. He kept his hands back, waited on the ball, caught the break, and I tell people that's the L screen drill.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard. That wasn't a easy pitch to hit. Right
No,
there, for sure.
Excellent piece of hitting right there. So now we have a runner on first, 1 out, and we are waiting for the batter. And coming to the plate for Poca is going to be number 3, and that's the leadoff hitter, Christian.
Yeah, this gentleman here has pretty good batting average. Let me see what it was.
He does, and in the first game he had a couple hits. This guy finds his way on. He had 2 hits, I believe, in game 1.
Christian had he's batting on 484 coming in here.
Fastball inside, and that's going to be 1 ball, 1 strike.
So this Christian is the boy that pitched at first, wasn't it?
Yes. In game 1. Fastball up. And that brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike for the senior. Here comes the pitch. Fastball inside, misses, 3 balls, 1 strike. But what Luke has done is he's had some bend, but he's had no breaks. He's come back and fought well through these. So here we go. See how we respond to the 3-1. Runners at first. Swung on and missed, and that brings up a full count.
You know, Luke looks pretty good here. He's pushing through this. I know he's got 1 out already, and he's at a full count.
Drills him right in the ankle. I'm going to tell you, they put a little extra sauce on that one, and
that hurt.
That didn't feel good on today.
Yeah, he'll definitely feel that for sure. He's got a little limp there.
So we have Poca's first hit in the ball game was by the curveball that the young man sat back on and drove into right center, and now we follow that up by a hit by pitch. So what we got to do is big deep breath, throw me a ground ball, let's get out of here.
We're 1 pitch away.
Swung on and missed. At the plate is Nick Grayley.
So you notice there, Luke kind of just let up just a little bit, and he puts it in there. If he tries to overthrow it, he's just a little wild, which just comes with experience.
Swung on, foul ball. We see our assistant here on the computer, Paige, starting to have a little bit more nerves of steel. She didn't dive off the back of her chair with a foul ball up towards the glass. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Grayley. Breaking ball, nice piece of hitting right there to stay alive. Grayley files it off down the right field side. And he'll get to see another pitch.
No breaking ball up just a little bit. He fought it off. If I was Luke, I would want to get that breaking ball down just a little bit, maybe break it out of the zone rather than in the zone.
So runners at first and second. Swung on, drove that fastball right by the bat of Grayley for out number 2. And here comes the 3-hole hitter, Mr. Jones.
Good pitch, good pitch.
Down the inning, that brings to the plate number 4, Cooper Jones.
Fastball for a strike, 0-1. So we have 2 outs, runners at first and second. Swung on and missed for strike 2. That ball was a little out of the zone, but good enough to get a batter to chase. And we're looking 0-2. Now, here's what has happened. Last several times we've been 0-2, we've seen that breaking ball floating right into the zone. Let's see if he mixes it up a little bit.
Keep it.
Yeah. No, he decided to throw that one to the backstop. That's a little different. It gives him a little different look.
Well, it's better than right over the plate.
It was better than that.
I'm going to tell you that.
In the movie, wasn't major. He hit the bull.
Well, some people like coming back with a third strike after 2 strikes.
Right here, I'd come back curveball after you set him up high. Breaking pitch outside, strike 3, nice job. See that pitch that was high? It was just to change their eye level, to change up the eye level to get that curveball. So here we go, 3 outs, and we're going the bottom half of the 3rd inning with a score 11-0 Bulldogs.
Good job, Dogs.
Check this out.
Key Oil Company has been a proud member of the North Central West Virginia community since 1978. Key Oil Company has been drilling and producing gas and oil in West Virginia for nearly 50 years. Home office located in Weston, West Virginia. Key Oil Company is a proud supporter of all Doddridge County student athletes. Let's go Bulldogs.
And here we go. Welcome back to the home half of the 3rd inning. And we're going to have a new pitcher on the mound for the Polka Dots.
New pitcher here, number 18.
So he's a new guy. No, Mr. Grayley, the 2-hole.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, Mr. Grayley.
Mr. Grayley's going to be on the mound for the Polka Dots, facing off against the senior, Caleb Hall. Caleb was 2 for 2 in the first game.
I'm not seeing any stats in here on Grayley. I'm not sure. He's probably a younger fella. Maybe not. I can't say that. We shouldn't say that because we don't know, just because we're looking out there and seeing he's pretty young.
Grayley is a senior, and he has started all the games for them. His fielding position.
He is a senior, yeah.
Yep.
He's got second. He's second on the team on base percentage.
Yeah. I haven't seen his stats as on the mound, so I don't think he's seen much as far as the mound, or it's just not updated. So forgive us if he has. We're just going off what we see, but he's got a .571 batting average coming into today. And we're going to see Caleb Hall come to the plate. And so far, Caleb this year has had a hit in each game that we've played. So he is looking to extend that.
Has he had a hit today?
He does not. He had a rollover in the first inning, got hit by a pitch, and then a rollover. So he's going to be looking to keep things alive here. Team first mentality, get on base.
Well, if you want anybody in there to get a hit, you want Caleb in there because his calmness just calms everybody down. Probably makes the umpire nervous. He's so calm.
So in the box for the Doddridge County Bulldogs to lead off the 3rd inning, the bottom of the 3 will be number 7. Today he is the catcher, so number 7, Caleb Hall, as he awaits the first pitch of the inning from Mr. Grayley as he looks around, steps off, a little uncomfortable. And we find ourselves right back. He picks up his signal, goes from the windup. Here's the delivery. Oh, Caleb's like, it didn't hit me. And he gets nicked. The umpire says it nicked his belt. So that puts Hall on the bag and takes the bat right out of his hand.
Well, of course.
And here comes Dane Murphy.
Of course, Caleb wanted to stay in the box. He said, I didn't get hit. It might have just barely nipped him, but they made him go ahead and take the bag.
So stepping in is Dane Murphy. He's been on fire so far. Has had a great day today. Check swing. as Hall steals second. So now we have a runner at second base with Murphy has the potential at any time to get out of this ballpark. Here's delivery. And we have third base now stolen. So 2 pitches, and we are now sitting at third base. Hall with 2 more stolen bases on the day. Murphy now can score a run by just about anything except for back at the pitcher. 2 balls, no strikes. Graley delivers, swung on, hit to the third base side. Third baseman scoops it up, fires across the diamond for the out, but not before we score the run. So productive out by Murphy. RBI.
1 out in the inning on a nice play.
And now we have Mr. Tristan Swiger coming to the plate.
That was a good play by third base there. He kind of had a short hop on him. He charged it a little bit and come up with the ball. It was a tough play. Tough play. Good play by the Dots third baseman there.
Swiger sees pitch 1 on the inside of the plate for a ball. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the third. And we're thinking about this score right now. 12 runs to nothing. If we get to the 15, I believe that they've invoked the new rule, 15-0 rule.
Oh.
But we're going to find out.
So
we've heard some rumblings about it.
Okay. So it don't have to be 10 runs at 5. It could be 15 at whenever.
That's kind of what we were told possibly. So we're going to see if that happens. But first off, we got to score 3 more runs.
Yeah.
So Swiger goes 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the third, the score is 12-0 in favor of the hometown favorite Bulldogs. Pitch doesn't quite make it to the plate and ricochets off the catcher. And that's going to bring up 3 balls, 1 strike. Mr. Graley gets a signal. He's going from the windup, and here comes the delivery. Swung on and drove to right field. That could be down on the line. That could be trouble. That's going to be a foul ball. Just snuck a little bit too much. And I will tell you, by the way this young man runs, he would have been standing on second.
Oh, yeah.
Tristan should be 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. However, he's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles.
See if we can get him another one in here. 3 doubles on the day would be a pretty good day.
Wouldn't be too bad day at the office. Swiger awaits the pitch from Graley. Graley delivers, and that's going to be ball 4 up high. So that's going to put Swiger on first base. And Malachi Kelly, number 8, stepping in the box. And it looks like the coach, he's just going to look and see. Maybe the catcher's got him talked into it. He's good to go. Coach is asking for some energy from his guys. You know, you look over there and see the coach talking to his gentleman. He's wanting some energy from him, get some life. You know, they put a resilient comeback in the first game.
Sure they did.
So if you're Coach Nate standing over there, you got to realize this game is not over. The Dots did not lay down in game 1, and that's hit into the 6 hole. Sliding stop by the shortstop. Nice play. Stands up, fires. And Malachi has a base hit. So that's going to go as an infield single by Malachi. Great stop by the shortstop. Got up and fired the ball to first base. However, Malachi beat it out.
Yeah, they just need to just finish them off right here. There's no mercy in it. The last game they kind of played with it, let the subs come in. You know, they got a good 9-run lead. They thought they could. Well, when you're playing a team like this, you just got to be careful with that.
And they throw the ball away, so Swiger is going to come home safely, and
good
Malachi goes ahead and takes advantage of the situation and runs from first to third. And so now it is 13-0 Doddridge County, and Evan Kelly could have a walk-off home run. He could have a walk-off home run. Now, the chances are not great.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen that kind of, but what I have seen is some good pop in the alley. I would be shocked if we don't see a good base hit. But let me tell you something. You never know, but he is going to get no help from the wind.
Nothing.
Uh-oh, the young man don't like to see this. He is in pain. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be right back. The pitcher seems to be in some pretty big pain
Mission
from his
in
elbow.
motion.
Don't like to see that. Prayers for him. And let's go to commercial.
Mission in motion. In Doddridge County schools, our students are becoming future ready, rising up with bright minds and big goals. Together, we are united to make a difference.
Check this out.
Okay, welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. The young man on the mound, Mr. Grayley, was taken off pretty quickly by the coaching staff. Not sure what happened, but by the looks of things, it was his elbow, and it happened all in one pitch. Not really sure what happened, but in years of experience, when you see something like that, it's never a good sign. And I will tell you this, I don't care who is playing. These young men, we wish them all success. Just because they're playing against Doddridge doesn't mean we're against them. So we are a community of athletes in West Virginia. So my thoughts, my prayers are out to Mr. Grayley and his family for whatever might be going on. But we're bringing back into the game on the mound. We seen him earlier today, I believe, number 32. Is this Stone King? I think this is Mr. Stone King. He pitched in the first game. I mean, it's so we've seen him. We've seen a couple of these pitchers pitch twice in the same day. So here we go. Let's find out what's going on. Prayers for Mr. Grayley. He's been a tough competitor at second base all day.
Senior Stone King.
So Mr. Senior Stone King gets to back on the mound again, swung on and missed by Evan Kelly. And let's go back to that count. So that's the first pitch from Stone King, but the count is 1 ball, 1 strike to the batter. And I think they came and got that young man out of the dugout from the looks of it and took him out. So, again, we definitely offer up our prayers and condolences to that young man and hope and pray for safety and healthy return. Pitch is wide of the plate, so 2 balls and 1 strike on Evan Kelly. Even though this is the second pitch, he had a count prior to Stone King coming in. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on third. Malachi Kelly advanced on the throw that helped score Tristan Swiger from third. So Evan Kelly steps into the box. 3 balls, 1 strike. 13-0 in favor of the Dogs. Swung on, foul ball. I guess he did not foul that off. I do apologize. That is going to be strike 2, so full count. However, it got away from the catcher, and that scores the run. So the score right now is 14-0 in the bottom half of the third with 1 out. Evan Kelly could get us out of here with one swoop of the bat if he would decide to do so, but we're going to find out here in just a short second. Swung on, foul ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bottom 3.
No, I'd like to see Evan get him a good hit here. He's due.
Evan's been swinging a good bat, Coach.
He has. I feel like he's had some good base hits, and he's pulled through in some good times and some good clutch moments. I just don't think he's had that big hit for himself, though. Like that big shot, gap shot, that double, that triple. He's deserving of it. He's worked real hard. They get a couple RBIs, or was that against the game before South Harrison?
Swung on in the dirt, so that's going to be strike 3. Stone King records his first out in the way of a strikeout.
2 down here in the bottom of the third.
And stepping into the box is the right fielder, senior number 3, Josh DeHaven. And Josh DeHaven is 0 for 2 on the day.
I think Josh got some making up to do here from last bat.
Fastball inside, gets away from the catcher. And that is going to be ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. The Bulldogs scored 5 runs in the bottom of the first, 6 runs in the bottom of the second, and 3 runs so far in the bottom of the third. And DeHaven says we're not done yet. Swung on, ground ball to the left side. Third baseman. Third baseman booted the ball there, so that's going to be DeHaven will be on base, but it'll be because of an error by the third baseman.
DeHaven runs away to first base with 2 down the inning. That brings up number 9.
Coming to the plate is going to be the pinch hitter, Maxwell Nicholson, which is normally our catcher. Gave him a little bit of a break this afternoon because of some shoulder tenderness, but he's been swinging a hot bat, so he will bat for Hunter Hayhurst. That was 0 for 2. Strike right down the middle, but we waited so we could swipe the bag. So there's your go-ahead. It could possibly be the game-inning run if we so score. DeHaven is quite fast on the bases, so I'd say a base hit here would score him. Here's the pitch. Swung on, drove into right center, and that's for sure going to score him. That's going to be possibly the walk-off for the game. Let him keep running there. He's got a first, and the Dots are just walking off the field. So that is the ball game, folks. We appreciate you being with us, and we'll be right back to talk about who the winner of the game or the player of the game is as the Bulldogs take this one 15-0 in the third inning, and we'll be right back.
Looking for automotive service you can trust? Turn to Rokiski Service Center in Clarksburg, West Virginia. Family owned and operated since 1924. We've proudly served generations of local drivers with dependable, honest automotive care. From routine maintenance like oil changes, brakes, and tires, to lift kits, custom wheels, and off-road accessories, we help keep your vehicle ready for anything. Visit Rokiski Service Center at 798 West Pike Street or call 304-623-2836 today. That's Rokiski Service Center, 304-623-2836. Bulldog Station in Doddridge County Sports is a winning combination. For all your pizzas, subs, and salads, call Bulldog Station at 304-666-1364. Open Monday 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Tuesday and Wednesday 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Thursday and Friday 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturdays 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Bulldog Station located at 323 West Main Street, West Union, West Virginia. Let's go Bulldogs!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And we have just seen a 15-0 victory in Game 2 of this doubleheader from the Poca Dots. So, Coach, give me some game-ending thoughts for what you saw today. It's the end of a long week.
It is. It's been a long week for these guys. They've been battling through. They had a full schedule for their first week. 6 games. Pulling through now for 6-0. After seeing today's game, Tristan Swagger came in, threw pretty good. Wasn't his best outing, wasn't his worst outing. He threw good, he threw hard, he kept it in the zone, made things happen. We got up early. We kind of tapered off about halfway through the game. Second game came in. Luke Rakitsky did a real good job of throwing strikes today. Real proud of Luke. I liked what he was doing. He was working the plate in and out. His breaking stuff looked good. You know, Luke has got to realize, and he has realized, you can't throw your hardest every single pitch and expect it to always be a strike. You got to get in the zone and you stand up in it, and that's what he did today. And it showed, you know. He did a really good job.
I like it. Who else you got? We've got Swigert, Luke Rakitsky, and then
Brody Brockelman. That's who came in on the first game, or he came in on the first game,
he
right?
pitched in the first game, and his bat was pretty electric today.
Yeah, in the second game, his bat was electric. Yeah, that's a fact, right? And I think Brody's always done a good job as long as he stays out of his head. He's always turning over good plays. He's always making good throws. As long as he's not overthinking, he's already fast. He's already smooth. He's he's great on the infield. As long as he doesn't get in his head and continue, just don't overthinking things and just continue to do what he knows and doesn't overthink it. He is great, and his progression is great. But as all these kids, if you overthink anything, you're making it harder than what it needs to be. But Brody just needs to know that he's smooth. Brody, you do a real good job out there, buddy. If you hear this, just keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm proud of you.
We're going to bring those 3 young men up into the press box here and just shortly have a word with them about being the player of the game. And then we're also going to talk to the coach. The end of an extremely successful week. I would say in his career, he's never had 6 wins in 1 week. So excited to talk to him. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a commercial or two, and then we'll be back. We see those guys running up here now, so we'll be back shortly after these messages.
Mission in motion. In Doddridge County Schools, our students are becoming future ready, rising up with bright minds and big goals. Together, we are united to make a difference.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And we have sitting with us one of our player of the game. He was our starting pitcher in Game 2. We've not seen this horse yet out of the stable, and now that we do, we've liked what we've seen. We've got our senior leader, Luke Rakitsky. So, Luke, how did it feel to finally be on the mound?
It felt great. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, sweet. It felt really good. I love being out there. I love the competitiveness. I love starting. It felt really good to be on the mound for the first time.
Yeah.
I just went out there, threw my best, tried to throw strikes, and, I produced.
Coach Justin said something. He says when Luke throws at about that 75-80% mark, he throws strikes, and it's really hard to hit. When he gets that 100% mark, sometimes we can be a little wild. Do you feel that when you're on the mound?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like when I go 100%, I go all over the place and, might launch one over the backstop.
We saw it.
Yeah.
That's all right. It kept him honest. We yelled out he hit the bull, but it keeps him honest. Very good job today. At the plate, saw the ball well. Very nice laser of a triple there in the game, too, so still swinging the bat well. How do you feel end of week 1, 6-0? How do you feel?
I feel great. It's always good when you go 6-0 at the beginning of the week. Start off strong. Get a good streak going. It boosts the morality in a dugout. We're very confident. We know we can be good, and I hope we continue it.
I love it. We're going to be back next week, guys, and we're going to bring up our second guy for Game 2, Luke Rakiski. Thanks so much.
Yes,
Proud
sir.
of you. And now the next gentleman on the mic, newcomer to the press box up here, the shortstop, middle infielder, also saw some pitching, Mr. Brody Brockman. Welcome, Brody.
Hi.
So, Brody, you come and finally get some pitching on the mound. How'd that feel to be on the rubber?
It wasn't bad.
Is it a place that you like? Do you like being on the mound?
I mean, it's not my favorite.
Okay.
I would rather be in the field, but I can do it.
That's right, you can. And I tell you what, as a team that plans to make a state run, we got to have guys like you that comes in and can throw that 1-2 inning. So this is a perfect time to work on it. So good job on the mound, but let's talk about the bat. Second game, you were seeing the ball.
Yeah.
Was it tough facing the pitching that we saw today?
The slower pitching it was very difficult to time up the first game, but after getting it timed, it was easier.
Okay.
Way
so
easier.
You laced the triple, had a nice, hard, solid line drive in the second game, so we're seeing the bat with the ball well. How do we feel week 1 rolling into week 2? How do we feel?
Great.
Okay.
Great. 6-0. I think our team's up, not down. And I think we're doing good.
I love it. Well, we love watching you play ball. We love seeing you there in the middle infield. We're proud of you, Brody Brockman. Nice job.
Thank you.
And we're looking for you next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, so now stepping into the hot booth. He's a young man who's been here before. Pitched in Game 1. So Game 1 player of the game for his outing on the mound, Mr. Tristan Swiger. So, Tristan, another solid performance on the mound. How are you feeling on the mound this year?
I'm feeling good, a lot better than last year. I've got more control.
Okay.
Just overall, I'm striking more people out, things like that.
Why do you think you're seeing more strikeouts this year?
I'm placing my pitches a lot better.
Okay.
Last year, I kind of just threw it in there. This year, I'm really analyzing the batter.
That's you say analyzing the batter and realizing you can't just chuck it and be successful. Now it's way more the Greg Maddux approach. We got to be able to locate pitches. What's your go-to pitch?
My cutter.
Your cutter. A lot of people think that Tristan throws an off-speed pitch a lot, but really what it is the movement on the cutter. And we talked about how the Mountaineers, when we were up there working with their pitching coaches and stuff this winter, how much they liked that cutter. Did they talk to you about that movement or the success of a good cutter?
They just said they hadn't seen it very much because I kind of grip it like my four seam.
Okay.
But it's just how the ball comes off my hand.
And it runs. There's a lot of movement to it. Tristan, not only are you pitching well, we knew that you could field well. We knew you were going to come in as a strong pitcher, but you have brought to the plate a batting average that is at that 500 mark. You're seeing the ball well. This is not 1 or 2 games. This is after Game 6. You're still sitting at 500. How do you feel in the box this year compared to last year?
I'm a lot more comfortable in the box this year. Last year, I was really nervous when I got up there. This year, I've kind of calmed down and just waited for my pitch.
Well, I love it. I love the maturity of the conversation so far. Different from last year, different vibe, different feel. That's why you're seeing such success. So, Tristan, we're proud of you, and we're looking forward to next week.
Thank you.
All right, that was our Game 1 player of the game. We're going to take a real quick break as we are about to see Coach Nate Wright come up here and have a conversation as a coach that's had a very strong Week 1. We'll be right back.
Mission in motion. In Doddridge County Schools, our students are becoming future ready, rising up with bright minds and big goals. Together, we are united to make a difference.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We are here in the booth. It's been a long day, but it's been a good day. And we've seen Coach come off here. He's up here trying to push buttons. Now, listen.
Listen, this isn't my first time up here.
He's up here trying to take over the box. Listen, you do your stuff down there. You leave this up to us. But no, just listen. You're Week 1. week one, we're seeing the team improve. Where do you see the most strides from game one to today?
So early on, I would have had to say that pitching has really kept us in the games early on. As of recent, and in the last few games, our bats have kind of came alive.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And that's huge. If you have the pitching that we have and they keep consistently throwing strikes, filling it up, doing what they're doing on that bump out there, and not to mention the guys on the backside hitting the ball the way they are, we're going to be tough to beat.
I agree. When you can do both sides of the game well.
Yep.
And that's what we started to see as the week progressed. Now, we look at the success from the week. It didn't come from one guy.
Right.
The success of this week came on the shoulders of your team.
Yep. And the thing is you have a different guy stepping up every night.
Every game.
It's different guy on the mound. Tonight, today we had different guys hitting well for us. And that's what you want because not every guy is going to have a big night. So you got to have different guys step up in different situations.
Do you see the morale in the dugout? In the first game, we kind of lost a little bit of that intensity. What did you talk to them about that made them come out and hang 15-3?
Well, so the biggest thing with dealing with high school kids, and I think they get lackadaisical, right? Yeah. They get complacent, and you can't get complacent in baseball because baseball they can come back on you real quick with a few pass balls not going your way. I just told them they need to go out here and take care of business like they know how. Reset. You got 30 minutes here to reset, go talk to your family and get a bite to eat. But once we come back out on this field, we're going to flip a switch and it's time to play.
And they flipped it because I will tell you the hardest thing to do in baseball, the hardest hit is a triple. We saw back-to-back triples,
right? And
we actually had possibly, however it was scored by Malachi, possibly 3 triples in that game.
We scored a triple.
Yeah, I mean because it
didn't touch him or anything like that.
It kicked backwards and went clear to the fence. I mean, we thought it was a triple.
Yep.
We agreed with that. The ball tailed right back in and skipped right behind him and kept rolling. So 3 triples in one game. That's not something you see every day.
Yep.
So 6-0 at the end of week 1.
Well, I looked at this week, when we were making the schedule, you're not really paying that close attention. But as I got closer to the season, I was looking at that week and I said, it's going to be a doozy. That's going to be a test because, we had a Williamstown, we had a South Harrison on top of a doubleheader at the end of the week that would have made, we got rained out last night, but would have made our 5 and 6 games. It was fourth and fifth game tonight. You kind of see how your pitching is going to be, what you got left at the end of the week. I mean, I can be more proud of these boys, especially coming out 5-0. It's early. We got things we need to work on, but they're only going to get better as the season goes along.
So you had a win against Lincoln.
Yep.
Win against Williamstown. Win against St. Mary's. Win against South Harrison, and 2 wins today.
Yeah.
6-0 at the end of week 1. Super proud of you, but let's fast forward. Enjoy it today. Tomorrow starts the preparation because next week the gauntlet begins over. You've got Ravenswood. You've got Tyler Consolidated, Ritchie County, Sissonville, and Weir. I don't know where your day off is in there.
No, there really isn't. I mean, Ravenswood's a regional opponent. Tyler's a regional plus, an LKC opponent. Ritchie County's a rival. They're going to come here and
they're 10 minutes up the road.
Exactly. And it's always, when you play a rival, it's a little bit different. Yeah. And then not to mention Sissonville's a good ball club, and we're going to be traveling to Sissonville and traveling to Weir. And Weir is a regional opponent as well that I don't really know much about. I haven't really dove into them yet, but someone we need to take care of because we're going to help our regional seeding.
Well, I'll tell you, you keep playing the game on both sides of this, of the diamond, from the home plate side, from the rubber side. The way that you did, I would say that we'll be very familiar with the word win. And then we look the week after Easter, you guys take a trip down south.
Yep. It's good. I think the boys are excited about that. We're going to go down there and stay, and they were just kind of asking who we were playing. From what I've seen, we play a team from South Carolina, Ohio, New York. It's going to be a little bit like travel ballish, I guess I would say.
Nice.
But it's going to. Hopefully, we go down there and we see some good pitching. The complexes that we're going to be able to play on down there. It's going to be a great opportunity for the boys.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we're super proud of you. As always, it's the first week of the season. It's great to win 6 in a row, but it's going to be a lot better at the end of the season if you finish the season 6-0.
Yes.
It's a little different atmosphere. And I will tell you, you got a staff this year that possibly could make that kind of a run, one game at a time.
Yep.
We're proud of you. We're excited to have it. And ladies and gentlemen, we've seen some great baseball together this week so far. The year is young. We're excited for next week, so we'll be right back here next week as we get ready to take on some really good, stiff competition. But as always, we thank you for your support. We thank you for the time together. And as always, it's a great day to be a Bulldog, especially when we watch these Bulldogs win like they did. So thanks for being with us, and we will see you guys next time on the Diamond.